welcome to Angola, Indiana, and Trine University as we get ready now for the championship game of this 2013 NCAA Division III Women's Softball Regional Tournament here in Angola. We have a 6th seed against an 8th seed playing for the regional championship. The Anderson Ravens, the 8th seed, against the 6th-seeded Allegheny Gators. Allegheny comes in with a record of 24-18. Anderson 29-16. Jim Measle here, Trent Lewis, our producer-director. Anderson, the visiting team for this game. And the first pitch of the game is a ball delivered by Caitlin Nealer, the Allegheny pitcher. If Allegheny wins this game, they are the regional champions. If Anderson wins, we'll play a second game here in the championship round tomorrow morning. And there's the first out of the game as leadoff hitter Katie Lee grounds out to third, 1 up and 1 down. Nice play defensively at third base by Nicole Rohde for Allegheny. 1 away. Amy Westerfeld bats now, the shortstop for the Anderson Ravens. One out, top of the first inning. Just underway. Here's a fly ball. Left center wins, taking the ball. It's over the outfielder's heads. And that's going to be extra bases. It could be 3. Play at third. No play at third. Westerfeld has a triple. Well, really, for the first time today, the strong wind blowing out towards center field, affecting a fly ball. That drive by Westerfeld got him into the wind, and it carried it over the head of Pallone and Mazurik. And Anderson with a runner on third with 1 out. Katie Ogden bats now, the third baseman for Anderson. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. A chance for Anderson to grab the early lead. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ravens earlier defeated Aurora in an elimination game, 4-3 to get to the regional championship game. That one missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Allegheny has not lost in this tournament, so if they win this game, they are the regional champions. On the right side, they'll get the out at first. Run will score, 1-0 Anderson. Ogden gets an RBI ground out for the second out of the inning. Anderson gets a triple and a ground out. They grab a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first. Yardley Collette bats now, the first baseman for the Ravens. You remember now, Anderson has already played a game today while Allegheny's had to wait in this cold weather, so you wonder who has the advantage. Strike 1. Called by home plate umpire Kim Johnson. Dave Klingensmith is at first base. Victor Canales is at third base. Ball, 1 strike. 46 degrees as we start this game. You heard me right. 46 degrees on Mother's Day with a strong wind out of the northwest making it feel even colder. That wind chill's got to be down around 30 right now. Winds are going out of the northwest at about 20, 25 miles an hour. It's been a windy, cold day here in Angola. This is not exactly Chamber of Commerce weather. Ground ball to short. And a high throw, but out at first. Fort's throw was high, but Hayden made the catch and came down on the bag for the final out. 1 run for Anderson in the top of the first inning, 1 hit, nobody left. And after a half inning of play, it's Anderson 1, Allegheny coming to bat. The starting lineups for this game for Anderson, Katie Lee leads off in center field. Amy Westerfeld, the shortstop, bats second. Katie Ogden, the third baseman, bats third. Yardley Collette, the cleanup hitter, bats fourth at first base. Lauren Smith, the second baseman, bats fifth. Lise Hess, the right fielder, bats sixth. Natalie Morehouse, the catcher, bats seventh. Megan Ream, the left fielder, will bat 8th. And the DP, the designated player, Samantha Steele, bats 9th. Sammy Frazier is the pitcher, and she's the flex player today for Anderson. For the Allegheny Gators, their starting lineup. Sadie Stewart leads off at second base. Belle Mazurek, the center fielder, bats second. Stephanie Fort, the shortstop, bats third. Haley Hayden, the cleanup hitter, bats fourth, and she's at first base. The catcher, Katrina George, bats fifth. Caitlin Neeler, the pitcher, bats sixth. Nicole Rohde, the third baseman, bats seventh. Batting eighth is the left fielder, Maureen Pallone, and batting ninth, the designated player, Allison Landowski. And Leah Herlocker, the right fielder, is the flex player today for Allegheny. So the Gators come up down 1-0 here in the bottom half of the first inning. Anderson changed their uniforms in between games, now wearing their orange shirts. They're in the first base dugout. Orange shirts, black pants. Allegheny in the white uniforms. I think this is the first time we've seen them in their white jerseys this week. Strike one to Sadie Stewart to lead things off in the bottom half of the first inning. Anderson with an early 1-0 lead. There's a little pop fly. It's going to drop in for a base hit. There goes the no-hitter. Stewart singles to right field, and she's aboard. So Allegheny gets their leadoff batter on base. Belle Mazurek bats now. Runner on first, nobody out. Very strong wind blowing out the center field right now. It's like a March day with these strong winds and temperatures in the mid-40s. It's not a nice day to be on the pontoon. There's a bunt. They'll get the out at first. The sacrifice is successful. Stewart takes second. Mazurek is out 5-3. Stephanie Fort now, the batter, the shortstop for Allegheny. Runner on second with one out here in the last half of the first. Anderson on top, 1-0. Sammy Frazier deals a strike, 0-1 the count. Fort, a senior from Midlothian, Virginia. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now the 1-1 pitch on its way. Ground ball to third. They'll get the out at first. Runner goes to third without a play. So Fort is retired, 5-3 for the second out. Stewart advances to third on the ground out. Haley Hayden now bats, the first baseman for the Gators. And Hayden has a chance to give her team a run here and get this game tied. Ooh, that didn't miss by much. 1 ball, no strikes. Kim Johnson, the home plate umpire, with a slow, deliberate call. We'll have to wait to make sure we're not premature in calling a pitch. 2 balls and no strikes now on Hayden. Katrina George waits on deck. Ball 3. They got first base open and they want to pitch around Hayden here. Hayden batting .350, the leading hitter on the team. 2 homers and 33 RBIs. There's a strike as she was taking all the way. 3 balls and 1 strike. As a team, Allegheny hitting .283 for the season. Strike 2 called, and the count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Hayden with an on-base percentage of .455. There's a foul out of play. Count remains full, 3-2. And a slugging percentage of .525. She's walked 22 times this season. Payoff pitch coming. And there's her 23rd walk. Ball 4. So a base on balls delivered by Sammy Frazier. Katrina George bats now, batting .316. She has some pop, 7 homers and 21 RBIs. And if she gets the ball up into the jet stream, it could go out with the help of this wind. The wind helped out Westerfeld's triple in the first inning. It just blew over the outfielder's head. Swing and a miss. Ooh. George had a rip there. Strike one. Stewart's on third. Hayden's on first. 2 outs. Bottom half of the first. 1-0 Anderson in this regional championship game. Strike 2. And Frazier well ahead of George. 0-2 the count. They set up outside. Fish weren't biting. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Once again, if Anderson wins this game, they'll play a second championship game tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. And that's going to be caught in foul territory by the first baseman, Collette. The wind may have blown that ball back into play. Collette squeezes it for out number 3. An Allegheny threat goes by the boards. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 runners left. And we move to the top of the second here in Angola in this regional championship game. It's Anderson 1, Allegheny 0. Due up for the Ravens in the top of the second, Smith, Hess, and Morehouse. So here's the situation in this regional championship game here in Angola. If Allegheny wins this game, they are the regional champions, and they advance to the national tournament in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. If Anderson wins this game, then we'll come back tomorrow morning for a second game in the championship round in this double elimination tournament, and that game will start at 10 o'clock Eastern. Allegheny has not lost a game in this tournament yet. Anderson has 1 loss, and that's the reason we will have to come back and play tomorrow morning at 10 if Anderson wins this game. Lauren Smith leads it off in the top of the second for the Anderson Ravens. Ravens on top, 1-0. So Smith steps in, .378 hitter, 2 homers and 27 RBIs. Facing Caitlin Neeler, who surrendered a triple and a run in the last inning. Fly ball. Watch the wind again. It's over the head of the left fielder. Extra bases for Smith, and she'll check in with a double. The wind again pushing the ball over the outfielders' heads. Lise Hess bats now, and Anderson has the leadoff batter on board here in the second. Hess, the right fielder, batting .340 for the season, 2 homers and 18 RBIs. And for Smith, that was her 5th double of the season. A bunt of that and a foul at the plate, strike 1. Westerfeld tripled and scored on Katie Ogden's ground out to first base. Lauren Smith has opened the second for Anderson with a double. Nobody out. 1 strike on Hess. Called strike 2. 0-2 the count. So Caitlin Neeler in some second inning difficulty here. And she stays alive out of all that. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Neeler with a record of 21-15, an ERA of 2.19. Called strike 3. So 1 out. Hess is out looking. First strikeout for Neeler. Natalie Morehouse bats now for Anderson. Gets away from the catcher. May have a play at third. Throw goes behind the bag, but no advance by Smith. So I would assume that would be a wild pitch. Smith now on third with 1 out. Second and third, one out. They got the middle part of their order coming up right now. Fort, the number 3 hitter in the lineup. That's in the dirt. Good stop by Morehouse, the catcher. And the count is full, 3-2. Frazier brings it. Line shot, left center field, base hit. One run is home. Here's another one trying to score. She will score, standing up. The relay is bobbled, but no further advance by Fort. Fort with a 2-run single, and Allegheny gets on the board. They cut the Anderson lead to 3. It's now 5-2, the Anderson lead here in the bottom half of inning number 3. And the Gators are not done. They have a runner on first base. One batter is out. Haley Hayden bats. She walked in the first inning. Strong wind still blowing out straight away to center field. Ball 1, alone away. 1-0 the count. Triton University hosting this year's regional women's softball tournament. They've done a great job. Everything has been well run and on time for the most part. Had to deal with some very tricky weather conditions. There's a drive down the left field line, and it's a foul ball. Right now, we're just trying to hang on to our notes and make sure they don't blow away here, which is very difficult in this wind. Runner on first, 1 out. That pitch is high and away. Anderson 5, Allegheny 2 here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Fort, the runner on first with 1 out. Hayden hits a ground ball at the middle, base hit. Fort will stop at second, and the Gator rally continues. Hayden is on base for the second time in this game. Katrina George, the next batter, popped out in foul territory to the first baseman, her first time up. And now the Gators get the tying run to the plate. And with this win, George would love to get one up into the jet stream. She has 7 home runs this season, 21 RBIs, a .316 hitter. So she has some pop. Frazier has to be careful. That's a called strike, 0-1. Ford on second, Hayden on first. 1 out, last of the 3rd. Anderson leading 5-2, but Allegheny is rallying here in the bottom half of the 3rd. And called strike 2. 0-2 on George. Caitlin Neeler waits on deck. George is in the hole, 0-2. Frazier deals and it just missed outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. George with a very brave look there on that pitch. That didn't miss by much. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a foul tick back into the glove of the catcher Morehouse for out number 2. Big strikeout for Frazier. And that's the first strikeout for Frazier. 2 outs now. Caitlin Neeler grounded to second, her first time up. Ball 1. Ford is on second. Hayden's on first. 2 outs. 5-2. Anderson with the lead over Allegheny here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning in this regional championship game. That one's outside. And Morehouse will go out and talk with her battery mate, Sammy Frazier. Landowski opened the inning with a single. Stewart also singled. Missouri sacrificed the runners over, and Fort drove in 2 with a single to left center. First and second for the Gators. 2 outs. Ground ball up the middle, through for a base hit. Coming in the score is Fort. The throw is not cut off. Throw to first. Safe is Neeler. First and second for the Gators still. Another run is in. And it's 5-3 Anderson. Their lead is down to 2. Caitlin Neeler helps her own cause with an RBI single. The same spot Fort got her 2-run single. So Nicole Rohde, the 8th batter to come to the plate for Allegheny here in the bottom half of the third. And Rohde gets one up into the air, but it's going to be caught in left center field by Lee for out number 3. But Allegheny fights back here in the bottom half of the third. They match Anderson's 3 runs in the top of the third with 3 here in the bottom half of the third. So both teams scoring 3 runs in the third. I sense a pattern. 3 runs on a total of 5 hits. Allegheny now with 6 hits through 3. Anderson also with 6 hits through 3. Gators leave 2 stranded in the bottom half of the third. We move to the 4th inning here in Angola, Indiana, on a beautiful spring day. If you like northwest winds at 20 to 30 and temperatures in the mid-40s. It's Anderson 5 and Allegheny 3. And due up for Anderson in the top of the 4th inning. It'll be their 8, 9, and 1 hitters, Ream, Steele, and Lee. So we've seen a lot of offense in this game. 2 teams combining for 8 runs through the first 3 innings. Anderson on top 5-3 as we move to the top of the 4th inning. We're playing for a regional championship in the 2013 NCAA Division III Women's Softball Tournament. Winner of this regional here in Angola will move on to the national finals in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Eight, 9, and 1 hitters due up. And it's Megan Ream stepping in to open up the top of the 4th inning for Anderson. She struck out swinging her first time up. Look out. Did it hit her? It did. And for the 3rd straight inning, Anderson gets their leadoff batter on base. Samantha Steele grounded to 3rd her first time up. So Ream takes one for the team. Got a rhyme going here. Here's a bunt. Neeler throws the batter out of first base. The sacrifice is successful. Steele did her job. 1 away. Ream on second base with 1 out. Katie Lee reached on an error her last time up. Later scored. She's 0 for 2. Top of the order now for Anderson. And Lee going after the first pitch. Fouls out of play. Strike 1. The fans here bundled up against the cold. They got their winter parkas, their hooded sweatshirts, blankets. That ball is bobbled by the second baseman. Everybody is safe. That'll be an error. Second time that Lee has reached on an error in this game. Ream moves to 3rd on the play. Now 1st and 3rd for the Ravens here in the top of the 4th inning. 1 out. Amy Westerfeld bats. She tripled and scored in the 1st and drove in a run with a single in the 3rd. And now they let Lee move down to second base. So 2nd and 3rd now for the Ravens and 1 out. They're up 5-3. Foul back to the screen. Count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Anderson has scored in every inning. We're in the top of the 4th. They lead 5-3. Another bunt, that's foul. Westerfeld has scored 2 runs in this game. Anderson with single runs in the 1st and 2nd and 3 in the top of the 3rd. Allegheny responded with 3 in the bottom half of their 3rd inning. Here's a high fly ball. Should get the run home. It's caught by Muzerik. Here's the tag at 3rd. And sliding in the score without a play, it's Ream. Lee goes to 3rd. The sacrifice fly for Westerfeld. And Anderson builds their lead back up to 3 runs. 6-3 now, favor the Ravens. Ogden bats. Katie's 0 for 2 in this game. Lee on third with 2 outs. The first pitch is a ball from Nealer. If Anderson wins, we come back tomorrow morning and play at 10 o'clock. That'll be winner take all. Foul ball, third base side. Anderson leading 6-3 here in the top of the 4th inning. If Allegheny rallies and wins this game, they are the regional champions. We're all done. But right now, Anderson has the lead here in the 4th. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Ogden. Collette waits on deck. Hot shot foul, third base side. Clouds seem to be winning out over the sun right now here in Angola, making for a very cold afternoon. Well, we just can't get any decent Sundays around here. There's a pitch outside, and that just missed, and some of the Allegheny faithful thought that should have been strike 3. The pitch by Nealer. Foul back to the screen. Ogden stays alive. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 6-3 Anderson over Allegheny here in the top of the 4th. There's a chopper on the right side. Should end the inning. It does. Stewart makes the play at second base to end the frame. But the Anderson Ravens put another run up on the scoreboard. 1 run following the base on balls to the leadoff batter. 1 run. No hits. And 1 runner is left. After 3.5 innings here in Angola in this regional championship game, it's the Anderson Ravens 6 and the Allegheny Gators 3. Due up in the bottom half of the 4th for Allegheny, Pallone, Landowski, and Stewart, the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Allegheny sent 8 batters to the plate last inning as they scored 3 runs. You know, despite the strong winds today out to straightaway center field, we've only had 1 home run in the 2 games thus far. Anderson advancing to the regional finals as they earlier today defeated Aurora 4-3 in a thrilling ball game. It's almost dangerous to go through my notes because the wind's going to just blow them all away. An RBI single by Lauren Smith in the bottom half of the 7th. Won it for Anderson earlier today against Aurora. That was a and Anderson won it in the bottom half of the 7th inning. A 2-out bases-loaded single by Lauren Smith for the Ravens. Maureen Pallone leads it off in the bottom half of the 4th inning for Allegheny. And no pitch. We got a new pitcher in the circle for Anderson as Frazier went the first 3. And Lauren Smith now pitching for Anderson. Strike 1 is called as Smith gets ahead of Pallone. We'll give you Lauren's pitching stats as soon as we can find them here. Trying to be very careful our notes don't blow away. Here's the next pitch. Low and away for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hands are really getting cold. It's kind of hard to operate these papers. 2-2 the count. This shouldn't happen in the middle of May, you know. It really shouldn't. The weather this spring around here has been ridiculous, to say the least. Ground ball. Smith fields and makes the play. One out. One up and one down as Pallone taps to the pitcher. Allison Landowski singled and scored her last time up. She started that 3-run uprising with a leadoff single in the bottom half of the third. And there's a chopper. That's going to be a tough play, but Smith makes it for the out. Well, that's how you lower your ERA. Field your position. And that's what Lauren Smith did right there. So 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the order, Sadie Stewart bats. She's 2 for 2 in this game, and she's also scored a run. 6-3 Anderson here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Off-speed pitch is called a ball. Two outs, nobody on. 1-0 the count on Stewart. Here's ball 2. 2-0 the count. Here we are. Finally got the Anderson stats. It wasn't easy. Strike called. Smith 3-2 this year. ERA of 2.51. She's pitched in 39 innings. Off-speed pitch, a beauty, and it's called a ball. Wow. Oh. Did she pull the string on that one? Almost an eephus pitch. There's a drive and a base hit. Stewart has her 3rd hit in the game. She's now 3 for 3. So Stewart gets a 2-out single to left center. Belle Mazurek now bats. Smith has struck out 26, walked 8 in 39 innings of work. Strike 1 on that foul ball. This is her 12th appearance in the circle this year. She has started 5 games and completed 3 for the Ravens. Swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. We're in the bottom half of the 4th in Angola, Indiana in this regional championship game. Anderson 6, Allegheny 3. That one's outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Anderson has scored in every inning. 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th. Allegheny got all their runs in the 3rd. Pop foul. Morehouse back to the screen, runs out of room. Stewart, the runner on first, with 2 outs. Sadie is 3 for 3 in this game. Mazurek batting now, the center fielder for Allegheny. Trying to get that tying run to the plate here in the bottom half of the 4th. And that one's back to the screen, so Mazurek stays alive. Lauren Smith in the circle now for Anderson in relief of the starter, Sammy Frazier. Frazier went the first 3 innings. Got touched for 3 runs last inning. Here's another foul and a real battle right here between Mazurek and Smith. A brief conversation. Tony Holloway and I think his catcher. That's outside for a ball. Partly sunny skies. Here comes the sun again. And a pop foul going out of play on the 3rd base side. Belle Mazurek really battling Lauren Smith right now. She's fouled off several good pitches, staying alive. That one may be playable. No, just out of the reach of the catcher, Morehouse. Morehouse made a terrific effort, but it just dropped out of her reach. Katie Ogden could not get there either. Mazurek back in the box with new life. Here it comes. Off-speed pitch. ball. Oh, my. So we have a payoff pitch upcoming here to Missouri. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Ball 4 is called. Much to the displeasure of the Anderson dugout. So Stewart is now on second. Missouri works a walk. Stephanie Fort bats now. She represents the tying run. The number 3 hitter in the lineup. Anderson leading Allegheny 6-3, bottom half of the 4th. First pitch is called a strike by home plate umpire Kim Johnson. 0-1 on Fort. In the dirt, 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs and 2 on for Allegheny here in the bottom of the 4th inning. They trail 6-3. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Anderson trying to force a second game of the championship round tomorrow morning at 10 Eastern. Allegheny trying to win the regional title. Ground ball to third, and they say a foul ball. So Fort will go back into the right-hand batter's box. Stewart on second, Missouri on first. Off-speed pitch, drilled down the left field line, foul ball. Fort hit it hard, but hit it foul. Now she has to guard the dish with 2 strikes on her. Allegheny fell behind 5-0. They're down by 3 right now. Outside for a ball. And the count is full, according to the scoreboard. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Oh, and a foul ball that got Ford in the batter's box. And that smarts, especially on a day like this, and she is still not up. Now needs the bat to steady herself. That looked like it got her on the left foot, and she has to walk it off. The dogs are barking. Take a sledgehammer and hit your foot. That's what it feels like. Well, I don't recommend you to do that at home now. Don't do that. Another payoff pitch upcoming to Fort. And a ground ball to second will get him out of the inning. Sharp ground ball to second base to end the frame. Allegheny trails by 3 as we enter the 5th inning. No runs for the Gators. 1 hit. And 2 runners are left. After 4 innings of play, it's Anderson 6 and Allegheny 3. Due up for the Ravens in the top of the 5th inning. They'll send up Collette, Smith, and Hess. Anderson has scored in every inning as they have carried their momentum from their 4-3 victory over Aurora into this regional championship game. Allegheny, on the other hand, they've been kind of sitting around in the cold here. They try to stay warm while Aurora and Anderson were playing. But again, you got to wonder if Anderson has the edge here, since this is their second game of the day, and Allegheny playing their first. On a day like this, you tend to stiffen up if you just sit around and do nothing. Collette will lead things off. She had a 2-run single her first time up. 1 for 2 in this game. She's also scored a run. Facing Caitlin Neeler. 6'3" Anderson. And on the first pitch, a line shot, the first for the out. Hayden grabbing that line shot off the bat of Collette for out number 1. Lauren Smith, the hero of game 1, the victory over Aurora, with a 2-out ARP single with the bases loaded in the bottom half of the 7th. A walk-off single for Smith to win that game, to get Anderson into the championship round. Smith up there now. 1-0 the count. That's high, ball 2. 1 out, nobody on, top of the 5th. Anderson 6, Allegheny 3. Clouds blocking the sun here in Angola. There's a foul off the dugout, and the wind gusts up again. It has just been a miserable day to be outside here on Mother's Day. We got temperatures in the mid-40s and a strong wind out of the northwest, dropping the wind chill into the 20s. There's a foul into the third base dugout. To be frank, the weather around here has been abysmal this spring. Snow in March. We had about 20 inches of snow in Fort Wayne. And then the snow went away and it rained practically all of April around here. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Smith strikes out swinging for the second out of the inning. And for Nealer, that's her third strikeout in this game. Lise Hess bats now. She has struck out looking and walked, was later cut down at the plate. So she's 0 for 1. First pitch is a strike to Hess. So Nealer looking to get a 1-2-3 inning here. Get her team into the dugout. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Anderson on top, 6-3 here in the top of the 5th inning. Hess, a 340 hitter. There's a ball. She has 2 homers and 18 RBIs so far this season. Has started 35 of the 42 games the Ravens have played. Another ball. 3 balls and 1 strike on Hess. Morehouse waits on deck. And a high fly ball, deep center field. It's out of here! Hess with a solo homer to straightaway center field, and once that ball got into the wind, it went out of here. A solo home run for Hess. Anderson with a 7-3 lead now here in the top of the 5th inning. And it got out of here in a hurry. Morehouse the batter. Morehouse has 2 RBIs in this game. First pitch is outside, ball 1. A pair of RBI singles for Natalie Morehouse, 2 for 2, and 2 ribbies. Line shot, foul. So Anderson has scored in every inning as we play at the top of the 5th. 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, 1 here in the 5th. Ravens 7 and Allegheny 3. Lise Hess hitting that solo homer to put the Ravens back up by 4. There's a foul. Hess, a senior from Auburn. I would imagine a few of her family members are here. Graduated from Lakewood Park Christian High School, one of the top 1A programs in Indiana. They played for a state championship a couple of years ago. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Morehouse the batter, a graduate from Central Noble High School. There's a ball. 3-2 the count with 2 outs. And a ground ball to short should end the inning. Fort's throw is in time. So that's all for Anderson in the top of the 5th. They add another run on the solo home run by Lise Hess. 1 run, 1 hit, nobody left. We move to the bottom half of the 5th inning in Angola in this regional championship game. It's Anderson 7 and Allegheny 3. And duo for the Gators in the bottom half of the 5th inning. It'll be Hayden, George, and Nealer. Anderson trying to win their 30th game of the season. They are 29 and 16, 29 and 16 entering this game. They were the number 8 seed in this region. Allegheny, 24 and 18. They were the 6th seed. And this has been a regional tournament where form is not held as far as the seeds are concerned. Entering today's action, the last 3 teams, you had a 4 seed in Aurora, a 6 seed in Allegheny, and an 8 seed in Anderson. An 8 against 6 seed here in the regional championship round. It's been a very unpredictable tournament, to say the least. Haley Hayden will lead things off for Allegheny here in the bottom half of the 5th. She singled her last time up. She's 1 for 1 in this game. The 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up for Allegheny as they come to bat here in the bottom half of the 5th, trailing now 7-3 to Anderson. Swing and a miss on the first pitch from Lauren Smith, who starts her 2nd inning of work. Sammy Frazier went the first 3 innings for the Ravens. Caitlin Nealer has gone the distance for Allegheny. The next pitch is a ball, 1 strike. If Anderson holds on to this lead and wins this game, we'll come back tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock Eastern to determine the regional champion. There's ball 2. One of these teams will advance to the national tournament in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike on Hayden, trying to get on base here to lead off the bottom half of the 5th inning for Allegheny. The Gators are down 4. Called strike. And a full count to Hayden. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Payoff pitch coming. A chopper to short. It's through the legs of the shortstop. And that'll be an error. Right through the wickets. Nicole Frazier will be charged with that error at shortstop. So, Allegheny gets their leadoff batter on base. And here's Katrina George. She's 0 for 2, has fouled the first and struck out. Katrina George up there now with a runner on first and nobody out. 7-3 Anderson here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. That's a ball. Lauren Smith in the circle for Anderson, back up on the rubber. There's a drive in the right field. It's caught for the out. And no advance by Hayden. George hit it hard, but right to the right fielder for the out. Caitlin Nealer now bats. She's 1 for 2 with an RBI single in this game. Hayden on first, 1 out. And a high pop fly, and it's going to be caught in foul territory. Terrific play by Collette. And there are 2 outs. Collette getting dirty over there at first base, making the play in foul territory. Nicole Rohde bats now as the sun comes back out. She's 0 for 2, has grounded the second, fly to center. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Westerfeld now playing at second base for Anderson, as Smith came into the circle last inning after starting the game at second base. There's a drive and a base hit up the gap. Racing for third is Hayden. They are going to wave her home. Throw it second. Safe there. Hayden scores on the RBI double by Rohde. And that cuts the Anderson lead down to 3. It's now 7-4. Favor Anderson. Rhodey has an RBI double to left center. Maureen Pallone bats now. And we have a player shaken up at second base, Rhodey, who slid hard into that bag at second, and she is shaken up. She gets up slowly, trying to walk off the injury. And Tony Holloway is out of the Anderson dugout, and we'll have a conference in the circle with the Ravens defense. So Allegheny has a run here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Anderson's lead is at 3 again, 7-4, favor the Ravens. Rhodey's still trying to walk off that injury. She may have jammed a foot as she went into the bag, but she'll stay in the game. Tony Holloway, the Anderson coach, is still talking with his team in the circle. And Rhodey is trying to work off the injury. The conference is over. Smith will go back to work. George smoked a line shot earlier in this inning that Hess made the catch on in the right field. We're going to get a pinch runner at second for Rhodey. And let's get the Allegheny roster out here. Maggie White is running at first base, or second base rather, for Allegheny. She's a freshman from Grand Island, New York. So White running for Rhodey at second base as she hurt herself going into the bag with that slide. Pallone the batter, and a pitch gets away back to the backstop, and White will move to third. So a runner on third for Allegheny here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. We've had a lot of action in this game, a lot of offense. It's called a ball. 2 balls and no strikes on the batter, Maureen Pallone, who's 0 for 2 in this game. 7-4. Anderson's up by 3. Line shot to short. Scooped. Throw to first in time. And that ends the inning. Nice play defensively there for Anderson. By their shortstop, Nicole Frazier, sophomore from Indianapolis, throwing out Pallone to end the inning. So 1 run for Allegheny in the bottom half of the 5th. 1 hit, 1 error. 1 runner left. And we move to the top of the 6th inning here in Angola in this regional championship game in the NCAA Division III Women's Softball Tournament for 2013. It's Anderson 7 and Allegheny 4. Well, I tell you what, if none of our notes blow away today, it's going to be a miracle. Top of the, or rather, check that. The 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up for Anderson in the top of the 6th. It'll be Ream, Steele, and Lee. A little pause for the calls there. Still need that sport drink even on a day like this. Clouds winning out over the sun. Wind continues to blow to straightaway center field on a very cold, raw day in Angola. Megan Ream, the batter, takes the first pitch for a ball. She walked and later scored her last time up, struck out earlier. And Caitlin Nealer back for her 6th inning of work. 2 balls and no strikes. Anderson 7, Allegheny 4, top of the 6th inning in this championship game. That's just too bad. A big game like this has to be played in these kind of weather conditions, but that's the hand you get dealt with. And there's ball 4. Ream walks for the second straight time. Samantha Steele sacrificed her last time up. She's 0 for 1 after grounding the third in the second inning. You can see the corners are coming in, anticipating the bunt. There's a strike. Throw to second. They may get her. They got the tag at second. Out at second base is Ream. Ream, now hang on. Ream is now called safe at second. Well, what's the call here? Ream is standing at second. The home plate umpire has gone into the third base dugout. That's the Allegheny dugout to explain something. Well, bottom line, Ream is on second base with nobody out. Trent says on the replay she looked to be safe. I don't have a monitor, so I'll have to take his word for it. Nealer off the rubber, throw to first, gets away. Another run will score. And Anderson gets their lead back up to 4 runs, 8-4 Ravens. That'll be an error, as the Gators defense has not been particularly sharp here in this game. That's their third error, at least. Ream scores in the play. Steele is at second base. Anderson has scored again. They have scored in every inning, and they lead 8-4. Top of the order due up, Katie Lee has reached base on errors twice and has grounded the third. So she's 0 for 3 officially. She has scored a run. Steele, the DP, at second with nobody out. Ball 1, low and away. Anderson with single runs in the first, second, fourth, fifth, and here in the sixth, and 3 in the third. Here's ball 2. 2-0 the count. Anderson 8, Allegheny 4, top of the 6th inning. Ball 3. And Allegheny is visibly frustrated right now. There's ball 4. Lee gets on base with a walk, and there's still nobody out. Amy Westerfeld, the next batter. Tripled, scored in the first. Got an RBI single in the third. Hit a sacrifice fly for an RBI in the fourth. And she bunts. Foul ball, they say. Foul ball, says the home plate umpire, Kim Johnson. So everybody has to go back. Steele is on second. Lee is on first. Nobody out. A run in for Anderson here in the top of the 6th inning without the benefit of a hit. Another bunt and another foul ball. Or was it a foul ball? Apparently that's a wild pitch. Missed the bunt, and the catcher missed the ball, and it's second and third right now with nobody out. Here's a slap to short. Out at first, no advance by the runners. Fort throws out Westerfield for the first out of the inning. Katie Ogden bats now. She's 0 for 3, has grounded the first, grounded to the pitcher, grounded the second. Steele's on third. Lee is on second, 1 out. Top of the 6th. And Tony Holloway wants to talk with his batter. And that will allow Katrina George to go out and talk with her battery mate, Caitlin Nealer. Anderson 8, Allegheny 4. We're in the top of the 6th inning. If Allegheny wins this game, they should rally and win. They are the regional champions. If Anderson holds on and wins this game, we'll come back tomorrow morning at 10 and have a second game of the championship round. And that'll be winner take all. Squeeze was on, and it's a foul ball. Looked like the squeeze was on, and Ogden bunted the foul. Strike one. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Here's a swing and a high fly ball, deep left field, well hit, out of here! A 3-run homer for Ogden, and the Ravens have busted this game wide open. Ogden with a big fly over the left field fence. A 3-run blast. And it looks like we're coming back tomorrow morning. 11-4. Well, Anderson got 10 runs last night against Trine. So their offense has been cooking here the last couple of days. And for Katie Ogden, that's her 4th home run of this season. RBIs number 16, 17, and 18. And we will have a pitching change now for Allegheny, with Anderson on top, 11-4 here in the top of the 6th inning. Bright sunshine against the scoreboard kind of makes it hard to see the numbers. New pitcher into the game now for Allegheny. Number 23. Got to get to Allegheny's roster here. That's Hannah Olenek. Olenek is the new pitcher. She's a freshman from Rocky River, Ohio. Went to Rocky River High School. She was 2-0 this season. Appeared in 13 games. ERA of 4.01. Started 9, completed 1, 7 strikeouts, 13 walks, and 29 2/3 innings of work. So the Anderson Ravens, with the offense cranked up here in this regional championship game, they have scored 4 times here in the 6th inning. The big blast, a 3-run homer by Katie Ogden. One more run here in the 6th inning, and we could have a... Oh, no, wait a minute. This is the championship round. The mercy rule now in effect. I forgot about that. Ground ball to third, and the out is recorded at first. As Rhodey fielded that ball and threw Collette out for the second out. Lauren Smith will be the batter now. She is scheduled to be the batter, but Coach Holloway is talking to home plate umpire Kim Johnson again. And what do we have? Pinch hitter. 21 batting. That's Sorcha Cox. So Cox batting with 2 outs and nobody on base. First pitch is a strike. 0-1 the count. 11-4. Anderson with the lead over Allegheny here in the top of the 6th inning. Swing and a miss. 0-2 the count. Hopes were high for the Gators entering this game, but Anderson has taken it to them in this regional title game. They have scored in every inning. And right now they're up by 7, 11-4. Checked it, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hannah Olenek now pitching for Allegheny. And Olenek delivers to Cox outside. So the Gators down 7, and they're down to 6 outs. And it looks like we're going to be coming back tomorrow morning unless Allegheny comes up with a big rally. Foul ball, third base side. Cox stays alive. Batting in place of Lauren Smith. Coach Holloway trying to get as many people into the game as possible with this big lead. Ground ball on the right side. And a race to the bag, and they get the tag. Cox is retired, and that ends the inning. As Hayden made the play unassisted. Tagging out Cox as she tried to slide underneath the tag. 4 runs for Anderson at the top of the 6th inning. 4 runs, 1 hit. A Katie Ogden 3-run homer that busted this game wide open. Nobody left. We move to the bottom half of the 6th here in Angola, Indiana in this regional championship game. It looks like it's going to be the first of 2. It's Anderson 11 and Allegheny 4. Due up for Allegheny in the bottom half of the 6th inning, Landowski, Stewart, and Muzirik. Once again, if Anderson holds on and wins this game, we'll play tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, and that'll be winner take all for the regional championship and the right to move on to the National NCAA Division III Women's Softball Tournament in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. I'll check that 9 1 and 2 hitters due up for Allegheny here in the bottom half of inning number 6. Anderson using the long ball here in this game. A 3-run homer for Katie Ogden, a solo blast for Hess. And they lead 11-4 as we move to the bottom half of inning number 6. So Lauren Smith in the circle, working with a 7-run lead. Landowski leads it off for Allegheny here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. First ball swinging, little tap. That's going to be a tough play as she's out at first base. Ogden making the play for out number 1. 1 out. Top of the order, Sadie Stewart has had a solid day at the plate. 3 hits, 3 for 3 with a run scored. Smith has her sign for Morehouse. Deals a strike, and with a 7-run lead, that's what you got to do, throw strikes. Sun has broken through. It feels good right now. Here's a high fly ball, left center field, and it is caught. Nice running catch, running towards left center by Megan Ream. So 2 outs and nobody on. Belle Muzirik bats. She has sacrificed twice and walked, so she does not have an official at bat yet. Look at that off-speed pitch by Smith. Anderson leading 11-4 here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Back to Smith. 1, 2, 3. Go the Gators in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Looks like some folks are going to be sticking around Angola for an extra day. Nothing across for Allegheny in the bottom half of the 6th inning. We move to the 7th. It's the Anderson Ravens 11 and the Allegheny Gators 4. And due up for the Ravens in the top of the 7th, Hess, Morehouse, and Ream. 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Anderson has scored in every inning in this game. 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 3 more in the third, 1 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, 4 in the sixth. Allegheny has scored 3 in the third and 1 in the fifth. Lee, Westerfeld, and Ream all have scored 2 runs. Ogden, Collette, Smith, Hess, and Steele all have scored 1. So everybody in the Anderson lineup has scored a run except for Morehouse. Home runs by Katie Ogden, a 3-run blast, and a solo homer for Lise Hess in the 5th inning. We move to the top of the 7th. And Hess, who hit a solo homer her last time up, leads off. She's 1 for 2. Olenek back in the circle. She came on in relief last inning. Outside, ball 1 to Hess. 11-4, Anderson over Allegheny as we play the top of the 7th. There's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now the 1-1. Ball 2, 2 balls, 1 strike. Large contingent of Anderson fans on the first base side, decked out in their orange and black garb. Ground ball is foul. 2-2 the count. Anderson 11, Allegheny 4, top of the 7th inning in this regional championship game. 8th seed against a 6th seed. Chopper foul. Again, if Anderson wins this game, we'll come back tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. It'll be winner take all. For the right to move on to Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and the NCAA National Division III Women's Softball Tournament. That one almost hit Hess. Here comes the sun again. The wind is still with us. Line shot on a base hit for Hess. So Anderson has had base runners in every inning. And for the Ravens, that's hit number 9. They have 11 runs on 9 hits. Gators have collected 7 hits in this game, 5 in the 3rd inning. That pitch is in the dirt, ball 1, blocked by George. Natalie Morehouse, the batter now. She's 2 for 3 in this game with 2 RBIs. Morehouse from Albion, Indiana, graduate of Central Noble High School. In the dirt, gets away, runner will move to second. Hess goes down to second base on the wild pitch. So Hess on second with nobody out in this regional championship game, which has turned into a lopsided affair. Anderson on top, 11-4. There's a foul at the plate. Wind still blowing strong. It's been blowing about 20 to 30 miles an hour, a steady 20 to 30 mile per hour wind all day long out of the northwest, making for an extremely cold day for this time of year. Ground ball slowly to third, and they will not get the out at first. The ball was dropped at first base. Boy, Allegheny's had a real rough day in the field. Just can't make these errors in a championship game like this. First and third, nobody out. Megan Ream bats. Ball 1. (11-4) Anderson. Check swing. Does she go? That's a strike. Anderson looking to build their 7-run lead. First and third with nobody out. Foul at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ream batting here in the top of the 7th with runners on first and third. And nobody out. The Anderson Ravens leading the Allegheny Gators 11-4. That's in the dirt. Runner goes to second. She's there without a play. So second and third for Anderson with nobody out. The next pitch. Line foul. Well, we're broadcasting from behind the outfield fence here. And the thing that helps as far as I'm concerned is the tarp that surrounds the fence. It's blocking the wind. Here's a pop-up. It's dropped! And everybody is safe. Boy, when it goes bad, it goes bad. Mercy. So the bases are loaded with nobody out, and Samantha Steele bats now. But unfortunately, Trent is kind of unguarded against the wind here. We're going to get a pinch runner apparently at first base. Ream will be substituted for, or we're going to get a pinch hitter. I'm sorry. We're going to get a pinch hitter at the plate. And it'll be Belleville batting. Hannah Belleville will bat. Takes the first pitch inside for ball one. So Belleville becomes the DP now. 2-0 the count. A base hit, 2 errors. And a bases loaded situation here for Anderson. Swing and a miss. Top of the order, Katie Lee waits on deck. The next pitch in the dirt. Well, Allegheny's going to have to shake off this performance and get ready for tomorrow morning's game, as it looks like we're going to play a second game of this regional championship round. Swing and a miss. No advance by the runners. 2 errors in this 7th inning for Allegheny, as the wheels have come totally off the wagon for the Gators. Bases loaded with nobody out. Hot shot, left field, base hit for Belleville. 1 run is in. They'll hold up the next runner at third. And Belleville gets an RBI single. Bases remain loaded with nobody out. 12-4 now, favor Anderson over Allegheny. Katie Lee, the next scheduled hitter. She's up there now. Pitch is low for a ball, 1-0 the count. So an RBI single for Belleville. Everything's going Anderson's way in this game this afternoon. There's a drive. It's into the gap. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. Belleville going for third. She's in there standing up. A 2-run double for Lee. And Anderson builds a 10-run lead here in the top of the 7th inning. Lee has been on base all 5 times she's come up today. That time a 2-run double for Lee. Second and third still for Anderson with nobody out. Westerfeld bats now. And it's 14-4, favor the Ravens. This one has turned into a rout. First pitch is a ball, 1-0. Well, it's got to be extremely frustrating right now for Allegheny. This is not the type of game they were hoping to play today. There's a swing and a miss. It's just not been their day. They'll just have to forget about this one and get ready for tomorrow morning's game. That'll be winner take all for the regional championship. And the trip to Eau Claire, Wisconsin for the national NCAA Division III women's softball tournament will be on the line tomorrow morning. That's inside. First 5 batters have reached the 7th inning for Anderson. Swing and a miss. Actually, a foul ball. Yes, this one is turned into a lopsided affair. 14-4. Anderson with a 10-run lead here as we play the top of the 7th. That's outside. Katie Ogden waits on deck. Another foul. Westerfield bats back into the left-hand batter's box. Second and third, nobody out. And there's another base runner. Westerfield gets a walk. Or strikeout, I'm sorry. Even I starting to lose focus a little bit here. Amy strikes out looking. Swing and a miss, strike one by Ogden, who had a 3-run homer her last time up. She's 1 for 4 in this game. Second and third, 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Pitch is outside. Westerfield became the first out of the inning after the first 5 batters had reached. There's a ball. 3 runs this inning for Anderson. They have scored in every frame, and they lead 14-4. Foul at the plate. Very strong wind still blowing here. We really hope this wind dies down for tomorrow. That pitch is inside. Our camera angle is a little bit lower than earlier in the tournament. With this high wind, we don't want Trent to get up there too high in that bucket he's shooting the game from. Ground ball to third. Takes a bad hop on the third baseman. Here's a run scoring, and it's now 15-4 as Belleville comes home to score. And that'll be another error. 3 of them this inning by our count. First and third, 1 out. Yardley Collette bats now. 1 for 4 is Collette with a 2-run single. Tony Holloway is going to make another substitution here as he gives the change to the home plate umpire, Kim Johnson. We're going to get a pinch runner at first for Anderson, number 8. Let's get the lineup here. I have to shuffle through my papers. That's Caitlin Arnold running now at first base. First and second, 1 out. The batter, Collette. First pitch is a ball. 4 runs in this inning for Anderson. They lead Allegheny 15-4 here in the top of the 7th. And a high fly ball. It's a base hit to right field. And the runners advance. Base is loaded again. With 1 out. Collette gets her second hit of the game. Lauren Smith is the scheduled hitter, but she was pinch hit for earlier. Anderson batting around in the 7th inning. They have the bases loaded with 1 out. 15-4 Ravens. I'm not quite sure who's batting here right now. It is Lauren Smith. All right, thank you, Trent. Ground ball, the second. They get the out at first. Another run scores. Smith grounds out. Gets an RBI. Second and third. 2 outs. Smith gets a ribby. 5 runs this inning for Anderson. 16-4. Ground ball should end the inning, and it does. Mercifully for Allegheny, the inning is over. But Anderson sends 10 batters to the plate and score 5 runs. On a total, by our count, of 3 hits. And there were also 3 errors. 2 runners left on base. We move to the bottom half of the 7th inning, and the Anderson Ravens have a 12-run lead, 16-4. Anderson over Allegheny. So unless Allegheny comes up with the miracle rally of all time here in the bottom half of the 7th, we're going to be playing again tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Middle part of the order due up here for Allegheny in the bottom half of the 7th. This is just one you throw in the garbage can if you're Allegheny. Forget about it. Just focus in tomorrow morning. It'll be a winner-take-all situation for the regional championship here in Angola and the right to move on to the NCAA Division III National Women's Softball Tournament, which will be held in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. So Anderson, 3 outs away from their 30th victory of the season. Allegheny will drop to 24-19. Sun is out now. The wind has died down. It was 46 degrees at game time on May 12th. 46 degrees. We have not seen anybody on the golf course today. I don't know why. The wind chill's in the 20s. Come on, it's a beautiful day to play golf. Maybe not. All right, bottom half of the 7th. Fort, Hayden, and George scheduled up for Allegheny. Lauren Smith back in the circle, ready to start her 4th inning of work. She stands to be the winning pitcher. Sammy Frazier went the first 3 innings. First pitch is in for a strike to Fort, who has a 2-run single in this game. She's 1 for 3. And there's a foul ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ravens with a thrilling 4-3 win over Aurora earlier today to get to the regional finals. And they're 3 outs away from forcing a second championship game in this regional round, in this championship round. Here's a drive to left and a nice running catch by Megan Ream for out number 1. This is a game where everything has gone right for Anderson and virtually nothing has gone right for Allegheny. There's a chopper. Smith fields. Throws out the batter Hayden for out number 2. 2 outs and nobody on, and Katrina George is the next hitter. Or are we going to get a pinch hitter? We're going to get a pinch hitter here. It's 23-4 batting. Haley Martaylor will bat. Martaylor, freshman from Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania. 2 outs and nobody on. Low ball 1. It's been all Ravens in this game. Swing and a miss. (16-4). Anderson with the lead, 1 out away from forcing a second game here in the championship round of this regional tournament. And that'll be at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Swing and a miss. And that's the ball game. 1-2-3 goes Allegheny in the bottom half of the 7th inning. And your final score, the Anderson Ravens 16 and the Allegheny Gators 4. And so with Anderson winning this game, we'll come back tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock for a second game here in the championship round. It'll be winner take all. Allegheny against Anderson for the regional championship and the right to move on to the NCAA Division III Women's Softball National Tournament in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. So come on back. Log on tomorrow morning at 10. That's the story here this afternoon in Angola, Indiana. Once again, your final score in this one. The Anderson Ravens 16 and the Allegheny Gators 4. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 10. And now for our producer-director, Trent Lewis, I'm Jim Measles saying, have a good night, everybody. Oh, jeez.